All right, let's talk about some self-inflicting wounds. God, did I say that right? Self-inflicting wounds. There we go. Because it has been a week of that around here. In fact, we're recording this the second time because I self-inflicted myself by not pressing the record button. So for those of you out there who put out content, just know that mistakes happen and you just roll with it. So let's recover here today. Let's talk about it. We have 5 different things that are very common that people do to really sabotage themselves. We would call them self-inflicting wounds, but we see this often. And in fact, over my 27 years of business, I think I've done every one of these, so I can speak to all of them. But let's start with number 1 and go down the list.
All right, number 1. Failing to invest in branding and marketing. So what branding and marketing is just your ability to put out information that explains what your business does. And so it can be your visuals, it can be your communication, social media posts, your website. So failure to invest in that you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because if you don't market, then that means you're not telling people that you exist. You're not telling people the services that you provide. You're not connecting with the audience that you are trying to bring in as customers or clients or patients. And so if you're not investing in branding or marketing, you're not investing in the visual designs and how you're talking about your services, then you're just pretty much not, it's almost like you're expecting it to be magic where people just show up at a place that they never knew existed. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you're not investing.
Yeah, and when we say investing, we're not talking about just money. That you can. There's also a time investment,
Yep.
because marketing is a team sport. Like, you can't fully outsource marketing. I love when people say, "I want to pay somebody to create my content, post my content, do all this on a." You can do that,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to lose who you are in that process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there needs to be a lot of back and forth for the marketing firm to understand, how do you talk, what are the words you use, the stuff you say. Matter of fact, they should be sending this stuff to you to approve anyway.
Yes.
So you don't want to step fully back from it. At the very least, you want to be reading it, approving it, and then letting it get posted. So you have to be
Exactly.
involved. There has to be an investment.
Yes, it does take time. And I know that, we're running our businesses, we're doing the things, in our business that makes the business. But you have to invest the time to tell people about the things that you do. So it is a time requirement in it. It's no different than back in the day when you would knock on doors, going, door to door, saying, "Hey, I do this. Would you like my thing? Would you like my product?" Well, social media, website design and development, all those kind of things is marketing for today. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you let people know, but this is how you get it out in front of millions of people, or at least the potential to get it out in front of millions of people. And that does take time. You got to figure out how to say what you want to say that's going to connect with that audience. And it takes time to really think through that, how to get to the core of what you do and communicate it in a way that sounds normal and human, but also explains what you do.
Right. All right.
All right, number 2, overcomplicating your message. That's a good way to shoot yourself in the foot. When you're
Yeah.
trying to sound all super duper, I don't know what you're trying to sound like. Oh, I want to sound all professional. And I don't even think professional is the word, but you're trying to sound
You're
like
trying to sound
something.
mysterious.
Like,
It's like people don't know what you do.
yes.
So tell the story about your
Oh
recent
man.
networking
So
event.
networking, man, networking. So I went to a couple of networking meetups, and you meet these people sometimes, and they start describing. I said, "Okay, what do you do?" They'll say, "Well, I make businesses money." And I'm like, "Doing what?" So they won't tell me what they do. They just trying to sound all, I don't know what they're trying to sound like, but it
Yeah.
doesn't work because I'm not going to sit there and dig and dig and dig. I'm going to be polite and go, okay. And then I'm going to move on to the next person. And then I'm just not going to know what that person did. So
Yeah.
they're just trying to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? Where they're just trying to be this sophisticated sounding thing that nobody knows.
Yeah, it comes from a tactic that used to be used because I remember people talking about it. It's, you meet somebody and you don't want to just vomit all over them, word vomit all over them. You want to say something like, um, I help businesses make money. And what they're supposed to do is that person is supposed to go, oh, that's intriguing. Tell me more.
No,
But that's BS. That's not what happens.
no.
The person does like you, and they're like, that's nice. Bye-bye. And then you're left sitting there going, but I didn't get to tell you what I did.
At
And it's
that
like,
point, I don't really care. Like, I don't
no.
care. You
And
must not
like
want to tell me.
people have to realize you're like your brain is burning calories, right? So you're sitting there and then you say something like that and your brain is like going, it's not worth burning all these calories for me to figure out what it is you do. Like I'm not going to jump through all these hoops to figure this out.
Yes.
And so they just lose interest and they're gone. And you can see this really good on LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn and you look at people's profiles, it's all this mysterious stuff where it's like, I still don't know what you do. And if you can't tell me in a sentence or two what you do and who you do it for, then I don't have any idea if you're a good fit for me.
Yep. Yep. That's so true. That's very true.
Yep.
So the next one is if you really want to shoot yourself in the foot, then don't tell people what you want them to do.
Oh
So,
yeah.
not having a clear call to action. You may hear people say CTA. That's what they're talking about, a call to
Mm.
action. And pretty much what that is letting people know what you want them to do. You see it a lot on websites where you have this site, but you're not telling people what to do when they're on the site. Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to schedule an appointment? Do you want them to, I don't know, what do you want them to do? Even in your social media content, do you want to send them to more content? Check out our YouTube channel, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, or check us out on LinkedIn. What are you saying in your emails? What is the call to action? Don't just leave them hanging, because if you do, they'll just go away and now they've absorbed whatever content and they're not going to do anything because you didn't tell them to. They have to be directed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that some people are like, we are not getting any traction in our marketing. And when you look at their message, it's like, well, you're just sending out generic emails. There's nothing there that tells them anything. Like they don't know that you're looking for more business or that you're trying to get a client or anything. You're just throwing out a bunch of information.
Yeah.
And, oftentimes it's not even good information.
Yeah.
Or it's, a button on your website that just says learn more. But really, if you click that button, it downloads a PDF. So why not have it say, download the PDF here or something like that?
Yeah. Because if I would have seen that, I would have downloaded the PDF. But when you said learn more, I'm like, well, I'm done reading. Like, I don't want to read
Yeah,
no
I
more.
don't
But
need
if
to
I knew
learn
it was a
more.
PDF, I would have downloaded it. Like, read it later.
Yeah, it goes back to the clear messaging thing. Like, be super clear. People should not have to make any assumptions about anything. It should be so clear. And we just think people, oh, well, they'll figure it out. It's inferred. No, it is
No.
not inferred.
Nope. We busy. Everybody busy. We don't have time to figure it out. You
Yeah,
got to
get
lay
to
it
the
out
point.
clear.
Get to the point.
All right. So here's another one. Neglecting reviews and testimonials. You
Oh,
can't hide. You can't hide. So if you get a bad review, you got to respond to it. You can't just let that sit there, because what happens is the people that read your reviews, they're only going to see one side of the story. They're not going to see your side. They're not going to see you trying to correct the problem or responding to the problem. They're just seeing you neglect it. So you have someone saying, I'm not happy with this service, and you're just gonna ignore it. Like that's not good practice. That's a bad reflection, because it looks like you don't even care. You don't care, and you're probably not providing good customer service because you don't care enough to even respond to an unsatisfied client or customer.
yeah. Well, I'll go a couple steps beyond that and say that you should be looking at even the positive reviews. First of all, you should even be asking, like, are you asking for reviews
Yep.
and getting Google reviews or Facebook reviews or wherever reviews you want to come in? Are you asking for those? Do you have some type of strategy that's trying to get more of those in, more testimonials for your website and your other marketing materials? But when you do get even positive ones, are you commenting on those?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Susie, for doing business with us. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, if you're in healthcare, you got to be very careful about that. You can't just go and comment, "Hey, Susie, thanks for coming to our practice today and picking up your meds and having your doctor say whatever." You can't say stuff like
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
you're in healthcare.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you still should be saying something.
Yeah.
Even if you're
Thank
in
you.
healthcare, you can still say, I appreciate the review or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
You can say something very generic, but just be careful, don't get yourself in trouble. You can say something that can get you in trouble with compliance. So
Yeah.
ask whoever handles your compliance before you post stuff, or call us, we'll tell you.
Yeah. Right. Right. So it's important that you do that. It's important that you respond to those. Um, all right. And then here's another one, posting and ghosting. So that's
Woo.
when you put out content, you put out a social media post and then you just leave it. Like you're
Yeah.
not commenting, you're not responding to comments, you're not checking to see how it's doing. You just posting, 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 and you don't even know if it's working or not because you just post and ghost.
Yeah, I'm guilty of doing that in the past. That was my social media strategy years ago. It was like I heard somebody say you need to be posting content 3 times a day, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't go back and look at it. I didn't look at what was working or not working. I didn't look at if anybody was commenting. Matter of fact, most people weren't commenting because it was pretty much stuff that I got from somebody that was putting out content to a bunch of other people. It's the
Yeah.
same stuff, and
Yeah.
it was just completely worthless, honestly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was the whole post and ghost. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And when people tell me that their social media is not working for them, that's usually what they're doing.
Mhm. Yeah, you gotta track these things. You gotta, and when I say track, I mean you're looking at metrics, but don't get confused with vanity metrics, where it's like, oh, I got this amount of likes and I got this amount of. It doesn't matter if it's not gonna give you a return on it, right? So you
Yeah.
want to see if it's going to reach more eyeballs, like how many people actually saw it, and is the content authentic? Is it going to resonate with your audience? It's not going to resonate with everybody. It's not going to be a good fit for everybody because everybody is not your client. You have a target client, or at least you should have one. Because if you don't, then you're to target everybody is the same as targeting nobody.
Yeah.
So you got to have a target audience. And so your content is going to resonate with your people, or at least it should. And
Mhm.
so you can't get confused by all the likes, especially when all your friends are liking it, but none of them are going to purchase your services. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you got to look at what metrics you're tracking.
Right. I mean, our goal is 100% increasing revenue because I don't care how many impressions you have, whatever. And you can't pay your bills with impressions. You can't pay your staff with impressions. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't move the needle. It's got to be revenue.
Mhm.
So if you do have a marketing agency and all they're talking to you is about how many likes and clicks and impressions and all that, that's all great. That's vanity metrics. They
Yep.
need to be talking to you about other things that actually mean something, which is
Yes.
how many people are walking in the door and
Mhm.
purchasing your product or service.
Mhm. Yep. So you need to be checking, your content to see if it's resonating with people. Like, is what you're doing, does it matter? Does it matter? Or are you just kind of taking some chat GPT prompts and putting out the same content that a million other people are putting out 5 times a day and
Mhm.
just creating a bunch of static like everybody else and wondering why it's not working? Of course it's
Yeah,
not working. It's not going to
yeah,
work.
and that's going to be the whole challenge with AI. AI is going to make posting and ghosting automated, and so it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
Yep.
But here's the opportunity for those of you who are watching. If you keep the human element within your marketing and your sales, you will do better than everybody else
Yep.
because the lazy folks are going to go the lazy path.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. So, all right, here's the 5 self-inflicting wounds. Number 1, failing to invest in branding and marketing. Number 2, overcomplicating your message. Number 3, no clear call to action. Number 4, neglecting reviews and testimonials. And number 5, posting and ghosting. So that's a good way to just kill your business.
Yep, there you go. Now you know how to do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, step away from the keyboard now.
Back away.
Yeah. All right, folks, until next time, have a good one.